Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching this Ag Forecast for South America brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. I'm going to look first at some satellite-derived precipitation data here. We're going to look over the month of the 12th of September to the 13th of October, so a little over a month there. We're just trying to see places where we have yet to kind of fill in with some moisture that we would still need, and that's certainly going to be parts of eastern Brazil's growing area. And then there's a section here of Mato Grosso do Sul into southern Mato Grosso here that still need a bit more precipitation. I'm also getting concerned about places to the south, specifically in Argentina, that have yet to kind of get quite a bit of moisture returned to that area, because the longer term risk down here is for drought as we watch this La Nina develop. There's a cool tool that is put together by the Climate Prediction Center, and you can kind of choose your time frame over which you want to look at the daily gridded precipitation. It's pretty low resolution. It's a 5 degree by 5 degree box, but it kind of gives us a sense of what's going on. So for example, if I were to pick a box right around here in Mato Grosso, we can see that since the last 30 days, we've been hovering right around average on our precipitation. All right. From there, though, let's just take a couple of looks at other places. Why don't we slide down to Paraná? All right, so Paraná was dry early, and then as of late has had a lot of big rainfall come in. So they've really regained back to their normal precipitation line because they've had so much excessive rain as of late. A little farther south of there, why don't we just head down to, this would be part of Rio Grande do Sul. Again, that's been quite wet as of late as well. But I want to show you over into Argentina. Let's go into the grid box here that kind of covers Cordoba. Very dry as of late. Can you see that? They've had one event, about 20 millimeters of rainfall when you look back over the last 30 days. And so this is a region where on average they're looking quite dry. And that's going to be my concern moving forward as we go throughout this. So Paraguay, Uruguay, much of Argentina, and southern Brazil, once we get into their summer, that December, January, February timeframe, I'm going to be concerned about drought development. Come back to that in a moment. As we watch the sunset today, though, still pretty healthy convection in the monsoon. You can see it here. Not quite as kind of widespread in coverage here as we had seen lately, but still nothing really slowing this down. And there's plenty of high humidity air that's pouring into this, and the monsoonal flow direction is exactly what we'd expect this time of year. Now, speaking of that, over the next 10 days, the reset of the MJO going back into null space, possibly popping out phase, I don't know, 1 or 2. That's going to be a reset over into the the western side of the Indian Ocean. We do see there's kind of reflection of that here, suggesting better upward motion. And that's why when we look out into this forecast, what we see here from the European model is better precipitation overall. So as we play through Friday, getting into Friday night and Saturday, that's going to be the big push of moisture we had been talking about coming through southern Brazil here. You just saw it all rock back and forth. Again, this is through the afternoon and evening on Friday. Look at that front that's pushing through that area. So heavy rain in southern Brazil. Getting into Saturday, that pushes a bit farther to the north. And then transitioning into Sunday, we see the tail end of that front pushing over into parts of eastern Brazil, scoring regions. Now, this is Sunday. Getting into early next week, normal flashes of the monsoon. That's what we're seeing here, okay? That's Sunday night, getting into Monday. Let's work our way now into Tuesday. And again, the tail end of that front still hanging on here, okay? We press from Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. While southern Brazil gets a chance to dry out, quite a bit of precipitation still in the forecast through this area. Here we are getting into Thursday of next week, Friday of next week, and then into next weekend. So you do notice that after the heavy rain comes through initially at the end of this week, southern Brazil does get a break while more normal monsoonal rains press farther to the north, and then this area gets that frontal boundary pushing through it as well. By next Saturday, this would be out there on the 23rd, we do see rains in the European model coming through parts of Argentina, but we're going to have to wait and see just how much we're talking about there. So let's go ahead and look at that by looking at the European model, kind of stacking up all this rainfall. So we know that through Friday into Saturday, that's where the heaviest rain is going to be down here in Paraná, Santa Catarina, southern Mato Grosso do Sul, and even into Sao Paulo and northern Rio Grande do Sul. That's some pretty heavy rainfall in there, anywhere between 40 and 90 millimeters of rain. As we then press through next week, this is now Monday, getting into Tuesday, Wednesday. Remember how the front spread to the east? Well, now you can see the heavier precipitation with that, while not much more is added down in southern Brazil. An area that I see still showing up missing out on this rainfall, though, is tucked up right against the highlands here, okay? And that's an area we do grow quite a bit of crop. And you can see here, if I kind of zoom out, there we go, that of all the places in Brazil over the next week that are going to be seeing precip, that area is still on the drier side. And that includes part of southern Mato Grosso and a chunk of Mato Grosso do Sul. So we're going to have to watch that area. It's not as though it's not going to rain, but it's drier. You do see down into Uruguay and Argentina, at least over toward Buenos Aires in the next 10 days, does favor drier. Now, what about that week 2 forecast? This is what the latest European model is suggesting in terms of precipitation anomalies. So there's that signal I'm watching out for. Drier to the south, more normal, even wetter than normal conditions in Brazil's central, east, and northern growing areas. Now, the reason I'm so concerned about south is because La Nina years tend to favor drier conditions. It impacts the Antarctic oscillation, sometimes called the southern annular mode over by our friends in Australia. So we got to watch it carefully because the new extended forecast, now this goes out from October 21 to November 21, again, it tries to paint this region drier. What will be critical to see is, does the moisture come into this part of central Argentina? Because the model's been very consistent with near normal to, in some places, well above normal precipitation in Brazil as we look at that 1 month time period from October 21st to November the 21st. So we do expect planting progress to continue at speed, and we'll be watching southern Brazil. And again, it all comes down to what this La Nina is going to do. Because we've got resurging cold water here. We've got cold water butting up against South America. And these two factors just have a greater effect on on the precipitation statistics farther to the south. So that's what we'll be watching, okay? Have a good rest of your week and weekend. I'll talk to you on Monday. Thanks.